Albert Einstein once observed that energy cannot be created or destroyed. It can only be changed from one form to another.
Hi, and welcome to the Satori Show with your host, Amy Satori, your intuitive spiritual counselor. Amy's work centers around the energy that is in everything and everywhere. Her rare ability is to identify the energy from any source, and with the help of her guides on the other side, provides an incredibly accurate assessment of what's really going on, albeit with people living her past, pets, the human body, and her specialty, twin flame relationships. And now we're proud to announce that the show is live at the Lighthouse Bookstore every Sunday night from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. Mountain Time. So you can talk to Amy and see for yourself just how special her abilities really are. Just call 256-291-1191. So now sit back and join me, Kevin McDonald, as we present this episode of The Satori Show.
And welcome to the show, everybody. My name is Kevin McDonald, and you're listening to The Satori Show on a Sunday night from both Boulder, Colorado, and from Seattle, Washington. I'd like to welcome Amy Satori, who is your host, by the way. I don't know why I'm welcoming her. It's her dang show. So, Amy, good evening. How are you tonight?
We can never get through the intro without me laughing.
Well, I can never do it straight. That's my problem.
Hi, everybody.
Stuff just keeps coming up. And I would like to introduce our call screener for the evening, and that is Matthew. Matthew, last show that we did, which was, so long ago, like 20 minutes ago, you learned a little bit more about what we do here. What did you think of that last show?
Well, first of all, I'm really happy to be here and be part of the show. My big takeaway was that there's obviously a lot of common themes that people kind of seek guidance with in life, and while the situation can be extremely personal and whatever degree of being stuck, I know I feel stuck a lot sometimes. That it's just awesome when people come in and share, because there's ultimately someone that needs to hear, basically, that they're not alone in their experience, and that there's commonality, and it's not always as small of a world as we can make it seem.
We're in it together.
Yeah. That's right. Nobody's out there all by themselves. We all have common experiences and common things that we all work through. One of those common experiences I'd like you to have is go to our brand new website, which is www.thesatorishow.com. And Amy's done an incredible job of putting that together. And if you also would like to go to amysatori.com, you can find out more about her. You can find her through either of those websites, and then you can contact her, because what she offers is a life-changing experience. Now, this hour, we are going to focus on what Amy has become known for in the industry as kind of an expert in, and that would be the twin flame phenomenon. And so, Amy, would you like to talk about that just a little bit?
Yeah, it's kind of
I don't know if you
because
can talk about that just for a little bit, because it's so involved.
I know.
You're so versed in it.
That's a pretty big rabbit hole. No, it's really funny, because so many people think they're going crazy on this journey. I can't even tell you. And this weekend, this girl came in and she said, I was told to come to you, and then you could put me at peace. And I was like, what's going on? And so she starts telling me all of this that was happening to her, and she was like, I can't talk to anyone. They don't understand. They tell me I have to get over this guy, that he's they're calling him names, they're putting him down, they're saying he's not good enough for me, and all of this. And then I explained the twin flame phenomenon, and that it's more of a supernatural experience. It can't be put in the category of just somebody that you date. Those are called karmics. So, and you don't want a karmic. Trust me. Well, from your own personal experience, it's all your exes. Those are karmics. So, yes, she was so relieved when I started telling her there's a name for it, there's a pattern to it, there's a process you go through, and it's all for self-love, maximum self-love. So she was just so happy. She's like, oh my gosh, and she was just tickled. She says, I feel so much better. And because it is crazy. It's like the universe tries to force feed you the person that it wants you to be with. And you can't get the person off your mind, and you see all these signs and synchronicities. If somebody says, no, I'm not really seeing any signs and synchronicities, a lot of times they are either the masculine, because the masculine takes a little while to kind of realize and catch on to what's going on, because he has to go through some sort of a denial process first. But, once they start seeing signs and synchronicities, it's like, yep, you're on the roller coaster. So, how this process works, I'm trying to think of like the way that I can say it the quickest, is there are 3 types of relationships pretty much. Okay, there's a 4th, I guess. There's a karmic relationship, which is basically people that you learn lessons from. They are narcissistic, psychopaths, they're selfish, they're out for their own interests. They pretend to be, they're the ones that you're trying to squeeze a round peg into a square hole, or the other way around. So it's a lot of work, it's exhausting, and you really get nowhere, and you're banging your head against the wall, and you're arguing all the time, and it's like you're really drawn to the person, because part of what happens in life is you're drawn to things that are supposed to give you those lessons. If they weren't so attractive, and if they weren't drawing you in like that, you wouldn't want to go through the lessons. So you get kind of sucked into these like contracts with these people who teach you some lessons, and then you decide what you want, what you don't want, how you want to be treated, how you don't want to be treated, and you kind of go through sort of like what I call a boot camp, a relationship boot camp. And then you have a soulmate relationship. And a soulmate is somebody who you get along with really, really well. It's very, very comfortable, very, very easy. Many of these people have been married for many, many years, and they hardly ever experience any kind of fighting or anything like that. And you would think that that's the ideal relationship, but as I've learned, there is the twin flame. And the twin flame is a karmic relationship combined with a soulmate relationship. So you get all the unconditional love from both people. They really get and understand each other on a really deep level. And they also have some karmic traits, in the sense that you're supposed to get activated about those old issues you've had before, so that they could surface again, so that they can be healed. So theoretically speaking, and I've seen it in many couples, but I continue to study them all the time, those things that you were trying with those karmic partners that wasn't working will actually work with your twin, because they are more connected to you on a heart level. They understand you better, and they are willing to compromise. They're willing to work with you. They want to learn. They want to grow. They love you just as much. So you have 2 people who are wanting to love themselves more, develop themselves. They want to take personal responsibility. They understand the freedom and the feel of taking that kind of personal responsibility. They have developed and they've matured to a level that they can do that, and they can have a more mature, more fulfilling, more satisfying relationship between the 2 of them. And yes, you can have all that with a soulmate, but the twin flame has an element of challenge to it that helps there to be even more passion, and it helps there to be more growth and things like that. So both soulmates and twin flames, though, are great for elevating the vibrational level of the planet, which is helping the planet ascend to create the new Earth that's happening right now. So that's why at this point in time, I believe the twin flames are all being pulled together inevitably. So the 4th category, I would say, would be a false twin flame, somebody who seems like a twin flame, and there's a lot of telepathy that might be going on. You might be seeing the signs and synchronicities and all those wonderful things. But the false twin flame can be really abusive, flat out nasty, mean, horrible. they again can be psychopaths and all of that, but they also have the element of like being able to read your mind, and you guys get along incredibly well, and you could even be best friends. So it's like total love and war feel. So I tell people usually, just maybe putting it a little too simply, I have to explore it more, but usually if somebody's abusive, I tell them that that's most likely a false twin flame. Or a karmic. Yeah. Or a karmic.
Yeah. And my simple, humble advice is if somebody is being abusive to you, just run. Just go away. Because that's never healthy.
No, it's not. It really isn't. And first and foremost, you need to take care of yourself and love yourself no matter what.
And the other thing is that there are questions, always questions, and that we have people on the line that would like to ask some questions of you. Are you ready, oh fine one, to take some calls and answer some questions about this incredible topic?
I'm hither with your questions.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Very good. Well, let's start with Monique. And I baited Monique into actually asking a question rather than me reading it because she's so much more interesting than I am. So, Monique, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. And Amy, thank you again for the reading that I had about 5 weeks ago, which was phenomenal. And I wanted to ask, which I've already posted this as well, but my twin and I, we have been in separation for about 1.5 years. And this week in particular, he's been very heavy on my heart. And because we don't have any mutual friends in common, I don't have really anybody to ask if he's okay. And so as I posted earlier, I'm really trying to connect with him through prayer and hopefully dreams, and just wanted to know if there's something that you can tune into that you might feel is going on right now with him, specifically this week.
Yeah. Hang on just a moment. Let me feel him out for a minute. The first thing I'm seeing is some kind of an epiphany. He's like gripping his heart. It's like his heart's being ripped out in a way, but it's a good kind of thing. It's like a realization of how much you matter to him, how much you mean. So it's kind of like I see a light bulb going off on his head. Like it feels like at the end of the movie where the man realizes that he's been resisting something all along, but he really does love her. And I know that he does. He already knows you guys have feelings for each other, but I think something's hit him pretty hard right now. I get the word loss. So maybe he lost someone close to him, or something like that happened to where he is feeling like he doesn't want to lose you. So I think that's what you must be feeling. And let me just see if there are some other elements they want you to see here. You're doing the right thing. You're definitely responding well. The best thing you can do is not worry, because worrying is going to cause more worrying for him. So have faith. You can talk to him, talk to his higher self. Tell him you believe in him, you love him, and you're there for him. And when he wants to reach out to you, you'll be there with open arms. Let him know that...
Thank you for saying that.
You know,
thank you.
Yeah. And let him know that you know that he can get through this. Give him confidence to get through whatever he's going through. And just let him know that he has a soft place to fall. Let me see about
and you know, I've been doing that. I've been talking a lot with him, just, you know, through my mind, and when I'm by myself in the car driving to work, you know, and it's been kind of neutral. Yeah.
Are you hearing him back? Are you feeling any interaction?
Sometimes I do, but rarely do I. Yeah, sometimes I do. I can say that. Other times, you know, sometimes more strongly than others, but because we haven't been in direct communication, you know, for about 1.5 years, I've kind of started to doubt it a little bit, but I have to pull myself back in and go, no, you know that this is true. You know, this has been going on for decades. You know that this is true. So, I just try to send him the most positive amounts of love that I can, and as I said, I don't know what it is he's going through, so I just hope that he knows I'm here.
Well, and when it comes to you, when you're talking to him in the car, I feel him feeling some shame and guilt. So I feel him being kind of quiet. So it's
and that's
contributed.
very true. That I know. Yeah.
You do? In real? You mean in 3D?
Yeah, I do know that.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
How do you know that?
In 3D, I know that that's true. Just, he has, when we were in communication before the separation, he did share with me, he has probably 20 years of letting me go, feelings of shame. And I, when we were in communication, I was sure to let him know, like, you're worthy of everything that is good in this world. Like, and he has a hard time understanding that. So, yeah.
It's too bad you can't send him our show on self-worth that Ben Jameson just did for us. That was pretty awesome.
It's probably, I'm afraid to communicate. I just don't, I know he's, to be honest, so I just have to respect his space,
Yeah, I think that's the best thing you can do. And one thing that you can do as well is, and, people really take this kind of hard, but let him go. Just forget about him. When you do that, you enable them to take up the rope. Just drop the rope completely and do your best to just forget about it. Just move on, live your life, date other people, or do whatever you need to get your mind on other things, and he will feel that, and it will help him feel prompted to grab that rope, which is kind of the lifeline. It's really his lifeline, because it's his best path to his brightest future with you. So, and he'll feel that. You know how sometimes, I like to talk about movies a lot, in that moment when the team is about to lose if you don't do something, and they're like, the rope is dropped or the ball is dropped, and what do? Are you going to just stand there? Or are you going to pick it up and run for the goal? Or are you going to pick it up and run, to make the touchdown or whatever? It's like you got to drop the ball, drop the rope, drop whatever it is that you got in your hands, just drop it and let him pick it up and run for the goal. And he'll feel that sense of victory from that as well. So, tap into him sometimes. And for those of you who are listening who are watching the collective readings a lot on YouTube or doing tarot card readings and things like that, it's okay to do that every once in a while, but if you're doing it too much, just try to step away from it and live your life and focus on yourself as best you can. I know that these guys really have quite the pull. So, and it's meant to be that way. It's really meant to be that way, but you'll feel good when you really let go in that way and you start doing for you. And if there are any unresolved issues going on right now, like if there's something that wakes you up in the middle of the night and you feel kind of overwhelmed about in your life, and it's kind of like just stressing you out in the back of your mind and you keep putting it off and procrastinating about it, whatever that thing is, take care of it. It's like take this time to expect that your masculine is going to show up in your life anytime and start doing some deep, summer cleaning, I guess. I was going to say spring cleaning, but, just clean up your life and get it ready, get your finances in line, get everything worked out, face your fears, do all that you can to be your strongest and happiest at this time, and you'll help it all to come together.
And I think that's some of the best advice, and thank you for sharing all of that. That's something, I went back to school this past semester, so I'm back in grad school, and I took on another job, and, I just continue to build a lot for my family, really, because I'm happily divorced and I have a son who's in high school, and so I'm, preparing and helping him for what is next. And in doing all of that, I've actually been able to let my twin go, not forever, of course, but essentially, what you just advised. And one of the reasons I'm calling in tonight and one of the reasons I posted on the Facebook page was because this week was very different from the past 5 or 6 months.
Okay.
And that's why I thought something's going on,
Yeah, he's okay. He's okay. It's something that he needs to go through. This is also referred to as the tower moment, if you know anything about tarot.
Yeah.
You know, he's being broken down. Kind of like, actually, Matt just shared a moment like this that he's been going through lately in the last episode. So be sure to listen to that. But,
Yes.
you know, it's like being burned down to dust and rising up from the ashes to become stronger. And so this could be just the kick in the butt he needed by the universe to get going on this brighter path. Start believing in himself and knowing that he's worthy of this kind of love and go.
Amy, thank
Game
you
time,
so
game
much.
on. Yeah.
And by the way,
Make it or break it time.
that advice, Amy, that you were giving about loving yourself and taking care of yourself, that works for everybody in all sorts of situations, not just twin flames. But you have to take care of yourself first, right?
Always, always, always. No one else is here for you in the entire planet. I don't care. I mean, they are here for you, but when you realize that they're really not there for you, then you don't become codependent on people. And then you also realize that, yes, there's a moment of kind of a solemn, oh, I am kind of all alone. But then once you recover from that kind of realization, then you're like, oh, wait a minute. But that means that I can be really kick-ass for myself too. And it's like, yeah, you can. And you can get so powerful in your own mental support that you know that you could endure anything and have a positive attitude about it. That's where you need to get, to where you know you've got your own back no matter what goes down. That's the level that you need to get to feel really healthy about whatever goes on in your life. The idea is to be able to get happy beyond circumstances, to be satisfied beyond circumstances, to have the world falling around you, falling apart, and for you to be singing zippity-doo-dah down the street. That will never hurt you. It will never hurt you to believe the best, to believe in yourself, to believe the happiest thing that you can thought that you can possibly reach for in any given moment. It will never hurt you to do that, especially if somebody comes along and pops that bubble and says that that's not true. If you have a plan B, being that you can back yourself up yet with another thought that comes forward that's just as positive, you know, if you keep having like an endless supply of positive thoughts that can come up no matter what gets burst or happens around you that kind of seems to fall apart, if you see it all as divinely guided, if you see it all as being there to support you and to help you along your journey, then that's all you need. That is all you need. No one else.
And you know, one of the reasons. Oh, go ahead, Kevin. Sorry.
No, go ahead. You finish your thought.
Well, what I wanted to share with really all of the listeners is that one of the reasons that I continue to fully kind of engage in further developing myself is because I want to have more to share with him.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
beautiful.
It's for me and it's for my son. It's for, you know, future employers, whatever. But in my heart of hearts, I'm thinking I really want to have more to share with him, and I want to, you know, have more to give. But I first have to give to myself, and that is really, you know, what's kind of leading the way. And I'm not really worrying about much because I just keep, you know, plugging along and doing the best I can with whatever I have. And I've been single for 5 years now. And so, and I've been fine being single for 5 years. And so, as I said, this week was a little different. And I thought, let me call in and just see if perhaps, Amy, if you could just, you know, provide additional insight. And you absolutely have. And I truly, truly thank you for that.
Yes, you're welcome.
Also Go ahead.
Well, keep in mind during the separation period as well, you guys, that if you have any insecurities or things that you automatically know would come up in your relationship, if you're watching porn, if you are addicted to something, if you are insecure and jealous or whatever the issue is that you know that you've been in all your relationships of the past, address those issues now if you haven't already, and most of you have done a lot of work on these things. But if there is something like that remaining, I would highly advise that you take a look into that now and start to heal that so that you don't take it out on your twin. I mean, they're happy to help, and I know, you know, many of them they don't take it personally, and they do kind of help you heal with that, and that's kind of designed that way. but do your best to try to get rid of any of that lingers at this point in time.
Very good. That's wonderful advice. Now, by the way, Monique, thank you very much for calling in, and we do have another caller that I would like to get to if we can, Amy. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Monique. And I would like to get to this caller because she has got a few questions to ask you. So with that, caller, you're on with Amy Satori.
Hi, Amy. It's Suzanne.
Hey, Suzanne. How are you tonight?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Thanks for calling in.
Oh, no problem. I was not aware if you were able to read my story from the one that I sent you.
I did, but yeah, refresh my memory on some of it because I read so much every day.
Hold on.
And I get so many messages.
I had to open my messenger here. Hold on a second.
Hold on, I got it right here.
Do you really?
Oh yeah. That's
You're good,
just
Kevin.
because I am just the incredible. Anyway, Suzanne, I'll see if you can remember this. I do have 2 questions for you this week. Is my twin flame? Do you want me to use his name?
You can.
Is my twin flame Sean aware that I am his twin flame on a conscious level? And if we come into full union, and will we come into full union anytime soon? He's been kind of distant this past week. So that's about Sean and Suzanne.
So, and the story that I had...
she's referring to a longer story.
Oh, okay.
I had moved back to Colorado in 2012 after being away from home since 95. So to make a long story short, I started seeing the synchronizing numbers 1111 or 111 quite a lot. Him and I had gotten married in 2015. We just divorced this year. I am a Reiki healer, so I am a light worker. I'm also an empath. So, clairvoyant, medium, empath to be exact. In 2017, I had opened my own beauty salon, and I gave it the name of One Soul Salon, LLC. With the infinity symbol and the 1111 set inside of it with a lotus. I thought I had met my twin flame back in 2012, but come to find out he was a part of my soul family. Sean and I met in February, and we started dating in March 27th. So we made a commitment to our relationship on April 11th. And we have already had some issues with this being a new relationship on a totally different level.
How is it on the different level?
It's just like I'm not in 3D anymore.
Can you describe that?
Because I have felt the peace, the tranquility, and the unconditional love of the relationship.
Wow.
I have never felt that with anybody else. So those questions that I have for you, he was kind of flighty this last week, kind of been in a distant mood, saying that he was grumpy or moody, and I understand he has some financial things going on right now. He's trying to purchase a home. He has 2 daughters that he does not have full custody of. So he has that kind of stuff going on, and I've been working on myself for the last, I would say, 3 or 4 years. So I'm happy with myself and where I'm at in my life, but I don't feel like he feels that way. So that's why the questions.
Yeah. And you're right. He doesn't feel that way. He is lacking in self-esteem at the moment. He's feeling the pressure of, I think pressure is the wrong word in this instance. He's well, maybe it is pressure, because it kind of feels like a diamond being, pressured into its shape. It's like he feels this higher calling to what you guys are meant to step into and to be, like a family. And he's wanting it to go perfect. And he's wanting to have enough money. And a lot of these masculines put their self-worth into money and material things. They're very 3D focused for the most part. Many of them.
And,
most of them are.
Right. And so I'm not about that. That's not me.
Right.
I'm not.
That's because you're the feminine.
Well,
the feminine, the divine feminine is she is more intuitive. She's obviously softer. She's gentler. She's more focused on the 5D. She's more focused on energy. A lot of times, she is a healer of one sort or another. She's like the Queen of Cups. She is like she's like a lot of her friends' counselor, the one that they go to that has the level head. And it's designed that way, that the feminine goes through a lot of their work and a lot of their tough stuff and the dark nights of the soul years prior to the masculine going through theirs. And it's that way. So it's almost like the feminine climbs up the ladder and then waits up there, or goes up and gets the ladder ready for him to climb up. So she, because of the nurturing side, she is able to kind of, nurture him along through the tough stuff. It's like, hey, I got your back. I know what this feels like. I know what it is to establish boundaries and get away from codependency and cut out people who aren't healthy for you in your life and get over drugs, get over whatever it is that they are getting over. A lot of them do have addictions and codependency issues, and one of the things that a lot of the masculines have to face is putting so much into their money. Feeling like, have you ever seen the movie The Family Man? That's such a great movie for this example.
Yes,
Nicolas Cage.
Mm-hmm.
See, that's exactly that was such a twin flame movie, because it's kind of like a Groundhog Day where you get a second chance kind of thing. And so
every
for those who
day
haven't
for
watched
14
it
days.
yet, yeah, he's like this really successful man with all this money, and he doesn't have love. And he always looks back on his twin flame and wishes maybe things could have been different. And then he gets the opportunity to go do that. And then he gets to see the contrast, and then he gets to make a choice at the end of the movie. And it's really a great movie. Everybody should see that. It's really awesome. So anyway.
So is he aware
he's dealing with that.
On a conscious level?
Yes, he is.
That he, okay, all right.
Yep. And now, didn't you guys already...
He hasn't said anything to me. He hasn't said anything to me about, a twin flame. I don't know if he doesn't know on a conscious level, but I mean, if he does know, then
I don't know if he knows that term, but he definitely knows that you're like the one.
Because he has told me you're something special.
Yes. Yeah. So he definitely there's no doubt. There's no doubt at all. There's nobody that even compares to you in his mind. I feel like such a certainty. It's like he knows he's hit the bullseye with you. He knows it. But that's also a little scary for him, and even crippling for him, because he's like, I got to do this right. I gotta provide for our family. I have to be this great husband. He doesn't. They get to where they don't want to lose. They don't want to lose you. They see the value in it, and they don't want to lose it. So because they've been so focused, and because they're so focused on the 3D, their automatic response is to, make more money. Get this going, get that going first, and get this going and that. And they start going after all these material things and all these form, trying to gain security through form. And by form, I mean like material matter and things that give you status in the world and things like that, social things and, things that are not energetic, I guess you could say, that are not of the intuition. So they think that the solutions lie there, and little do they know that, the divine feminines just want them as they are and for who they are and just as they are, and they can just be themselves and develop together. And it's okay for them to be vulnerable and not have all the money in the world. And
right,
yeah.
And I don't think that he is aware that he can be that way with me, to be vulnerable. I think he's scared. I think that's part of it.
Yeah. Well, this is great validation.
I have a question.
Yeah.
If I can ask this, and it just dawned on me that, okay, if the divine masculine knows deep down that a particular individual is the perfect one for him, that he would be so happy with her, but he hasn't done the work, isn't he scared that he's not worthy of that kind of happiness, that he's not worthy of being with her, and that she would only reject him in the end?
That's
exactly, is that a real fear?
That's exactly their fear.
And that's why he pushed me away this past week, was because he's like, go find another stud and all this. And I'm like, dude, I don't need another stud. I have you. Why would I want somebody else?
Right. You guys
he's playing Eeyore.
No.
I'm not good enough. I'm just not.
You may as well go with this other guy.
You're just going to reject me in the end and break my heart.
Right. And you're like, no, I would say I do, like, right now.
Right.
I don't even need all the facts.
I don't need a ring. Just get down on one knee.
These men have no idea that they've got these women, like, wrapped around their finger, It's so funny. It's like if they would just kind of drop all that egoic stuff, all those fears, if they just dropped everything and just looked at each other and held each other's hands and looked at each other in the eyes and was like, hey, you want to? Yeah, let's do it. Then that's like, that would be optimal. Just do it and let's just be brave and jump off the cliff.
Right.
So just know that life's going to catch us.
Right. My last question was, do you seeing us coming into full union?
Absolutely. It's inevitable. It's inevitable. And I don't know if I'm just like the ultimate romantic or what, but I seriously feel like at this time you cannot keep these two apart. You just can't. No matter what happens, they're going to be together. But specifically in your situation, as you were reading that to me and I was tuning into him, I feel like in 3 months there's going to be something very, very solid that happens. I'm not making any promises or anything like that, but you guys, let's just say that it's going to feel much, much more like a family unit in approximately 3 months. And there will be a building up until that point. By the way, you are very lucky that you're even getting to talk to him right now. There are so many in separation who still haven't heard anything for months or even years. So I think it's really great validation for us to have heard your story, so that you're validating what we all know, is that he's just really scared and he feels the weight of it. And a lot of these masculines, I don't know about yours, but a lot of these masculines have to relocate, or are looking into relocating anyway, and they're looking at these different options. So it's a huge upheaval, and or they're changing jobs, looking into different careers.
He's looking into a different job. So he's looking into a different job. But still in Aurora, Colorado. So.
Yeah, well, they are just going through a lot right now. They're really going through some major upheavals right now. So just, be patient. If you believe in this journey, and good.
Backed off.
Go have fun. Yeah, go have fun. But if you believe in this journey, hold out, because there are soulmates coming around. I don't know if this is happening for you, but there are definitely soulmates coming and knocking on the door, and they're very, 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 very tempting.
I think there is one, but yeah, no. No, thank you. Bye.
Yeah. So, and I still have to feel out like how that plays out if you do end up going with a soulmate, because the feminines so far that I know that have gone with a soulmate are still kind of hooked on their twin flame. So it makes it kind of makes it a difficult situation. And then you also have the moral dilemma of, well, could you be holding them back from their real person, from their perfect person? Not perfect meaning they are perfect people, but perfect for you, made for you. But at the same time, it's like I was asking some questions of Celeste in my Divine Guidance Council the other night, asking, is there a huge deal as to whether you go with a twin flame or a soulmate? And I felt like there was just this tremendous love and support either way. So it's kind of like they work around it. They work with you on that. I don't know exactly. I need to explore that a little bit further as to what happens. But I know that it's not like a tremendous do or die type situation. But I do know that the twin flames are like designed to be our optimal match. So why not, when you're almost to the finish line anyway, hold out for the twin flame? Because isn't it sad, or wouldn't it be sad that you fall in love with a soulmate and then the twin flame comes into your life? And it's like, what do you do?
I've been with a soulmate before. That didn't work out, of course. And there's just no way. I will never go with another soulmate. I'll wait. Good
for you. So do that. And it sounds like it's going to, you guys are in a good place. I feel really, really good about how things are going. So I think just hang in there and go have yourself a really great time in the meantime. You guys are going to continue to talk, and you're going to it's going to go forward like a turtle at a turtle's pace, but in about 3 months you'll be satisfied with the results in approximately 3 months.
Okay.
You'll be a happy turtle.
No, she's going to be the hare that's already there, like tapping her toes for him to arrive.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes,
thank
indeed.
you so much for calling.
Well,
thank you, Amy.
Yeah.
Suzanne, thank you so much for being on the show. It's really incredible to hear how some people are dealing with what you're dealing with, and all of these shows, they end up having an impact on a much broader audience because everybody's going through the same thing. So I appreciate your honesty and your courage to get out and put it out there like that. That's awesome.
Thank you, Kevin.
So, Amy, what else would you like to talk about when we're talking about twin flames and what's going on with them and stuff? Because I really feel like the masculines are like, because I don't know if you've ever had this experience, but I have, where somebody is so good looking, somebody is so attractive, somebody that's so cool, and you just really think that they're just absolutely the most awesome person on the planet, and you're scared to go talk to them because they couldn't possibly see anything in you. It's just, you're just you, but they're special. How do we get through? How does that relationship happen if the one side is like, I'm not good enough and I can't make it, and the other one is like, I love you just as you are, shut up and come over here? How do you get them together?
Well, it's like realizing that you are, for one, you're letting your imagination get the best of you. This person is not perfect by any means. Don't hold them up on a pedestal thinking that they're all that special. They're human beings. They have their own insecurities. Everybody does. And then when you come together, you start to see what those insecurities are, and then you can be there for each other. But it's ultimately about getting really vulnerable and truly intimate with that other person. It's stripping down naked and being like, well, here we are. So now what? And believe you me, if any masculines are listening right now, you will not be rejected by your divine feminine. I just had a scenario just pop in my head, one of my feminines. All right, so let me just put it this way. If some of these feminines are so hurt and so bruised from what's happened that they may be a little standoffish and a little bit leery, hopefully not, though. And divine feminines, if you're listening to me right now, you really do have to open your heart and you forgive whatever it is that he's done. I don't care what it is. Everybody deserves a clean slate and a fresh start all the time. So definitely welcome him back with open arms. But yeah, you guys have nothing to fear except fear itself. And fear itself comes from the ego, and the ego is designed to keep you from your happiness because the ego wants you spinning out and running around like a hamster on a hamster wheel. So don't listen to the ego. Don't listen to your fear. Just go. Even in the worst case scenario, let's say you have just utterly destroyed your feminine. You've been horrible to her, which wouldn't be a divine masculine anyway, but let's just say you think that you've just, you've done the worst to her. And you go to her door and she's like tapping her toes at you and her arms are crossed or her arms are on her hips and she's like doing the whole thing. No matter what, though, you have to know that you hold the key to her heart. You absolutely already completely 100% have her heart. So however you need to win her over, it is worth that effort. You guys may not be ready if she's really that bad, and then now see that I am putting that on her. Because if you're approaching, that took a lot of courage, and she should be receptive of you if she's been doing the work on herself. And if she isn't receptive of you, it means that you guys need to go back into separation, and she needs to grow up a bit and learn to take some personal responsibility, honestly. So if you do get rejected, it just means you guys need to go through separation a little bit longer. But you guys will be together, and you guys are each other's perfect match, and you guys will have that love. So just like in the movies, if you've done something really bad, just do what it takes to get her back. Do what it takes to establish the trust again. If you've made all kinds of empty promises and said, we'll go out for dinner, or we'll do this, we'll do that, and then you never showed up, or you kept canceling, or whatever, you've just been really flaky, stop it. It's time to step into your power and to be consistent and to be there every single time you say you're going to do it, you do it. Like prove it to her that you are a different man, that you're really showing up now in a strong way, like she needs you to. You can even ask her, what can I do to make this up to you? What can I do? So just communicate with her honestly and from the heart. But most feminines, I'd say 80% of them are waiting to just jump into your arms. They will be so happy that you've come out of hiding and that you have put yourself out there, and they will recognize how vulnerable and how scary that is to be in that situation and how hard that was for you to approach after all this time. And believe you me, there will be some tears shed, and they will take you quite seriously when you express your feelings to her. They will listen to you, and they will meet you right back with equal love. And so don't continue to let life pass you by, to let your incredible, beautiful future that's about to fold out in front of you in such a miraculous way. Don't hold that back a second longer. Go embrace it. Go get her. And don't let anything hold you back. I don't care what it takes. Knock on her door every night with flowers. Watch some romantic comedies and get some ideas, man. whatever you need to do. Because, I mean, if you're, well, some of these guys might be in a situation where the girl finally did just go with a soulmate. And so in that type of situation, I guess what I would recommend would be that I think he should still try to prove himself. I think he should still, do whatever he can to persuade her. And then, obviously, at some point, you would have to respect the decision that she's moved on. And I will tell you this, that divine feminines are very devout, loyal, faithful women. They will stick to their man. So if she has shifted over to her soulmate, she will probably stay committed to that person. That could be a really, really hard one to get past. But it is possible if you really, but you've got to be honest, you've got to be faithful, you've got to be truthful, and you've got to be, really come from the heart. Don't come from the ego when you approach her. And you will be received well. And that's where you stand the most chance, is to just completely speak from the heart. What were you going to say, though, Kevin?
I was just going to say that this is going to become a regular part of these shows, and it's a very important part, and I would really implore everyone who is listening to this to close your eyes, and I'm going to ask Amy if she would present us with a light language blessing for the twin flames, that they come into union soon and begin the process of becoming one.
Ooh, I love how you put that. That's awesome. All right. Yes, just give me a moment. Wow, there's a lot. There is a lot of power and feeling behind this energy coming through. All right, hope everybody's sitting down. All right, hang on. Ashe inka and ponsana ay laborona. Asha kintansa ikolaporona. Ahihim adat san tata ikoron potonsa. Halekechon son deteka. Alehuna opon son tekina tela. Haishon soma detinta galekreta na tawosha. Asesino toputsa nakina. Hale eko shon satipinta elakarata tainsa. Haishesima ukolaporona. Atsetsim boko rosade nakare ai emoro raina. Atatanta ake aishapa nsateta kolaporona isa.
And that was a blessing from Amy and her guides, speaking directly to your heart, whether you're a feminine or a masculine, to fulfill your destiny and to become who you really are. Amy, do you have anything else that you'd like to add before we close?
Yeah, I'm seeing what the vision that I saw while I was doing that was a phoenix rising from the ashes, and everyone stepping into their power and coming together as these power couples. It was really beautiful. And a rainbow over them, which would be like a blessing from the universe. So some of these masculines don't realize, too, they're in kind of precarious situations, but the universe is blessing this connection. And you will have more money and more joy and more satisfaction in every area of your life possible than you can possibly imagine with this person. So I wish you the best. I wish all of you so much joy and so much peace. And if you're not together yet, then hang in there and just go have a good time. Enjoy the sunshine. Get passionate. Drop the rope. Let him take up the slack and come and get you. He'll be knocking at your door any time now. So, and just remember, anything that's keeping you guys apart right now is just a fear-based thought that you need to get over. So always remember that fear isn't real.
And forever trust in who you really are. And nothing else matters. We'll see you next time on The Satori Show.
You've been listening to The Satori Show. Please visit Amy's website, www.amysatori.com, to find out more about this incredible talent. The views expressed during this podcast are those of the host, guests, and callers, and are not necessarily those of management or the owners of this podcast. What you need to know is that Amy is a wonderful teacher, guide, and communicator for the unseen world. What she does not pretend to be is a doctor, fortune teller, seer of world events, or predictor of what is to come. What Amy presents is real, based on her understanding of the world and communication with that unseen world. As always, you're free to decide for yourself as to what to believe. Regardless, we love and accept you completely just as you are. And thanks again for listening to The Satori Show.